only promote the truth.
Man, are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready? Are y'all ready for a blitz? We ain't had a blitz in a little bit. So I've been translating all day, had a powerhouse leadership Zoom today. If you missed that, you missed something special because you can feel the body of YAHUAH getting stronger and stronger. Before I get going, just a quick mic check. Everybody drop some fives. Put some fives in the chat if y'all can hear me good. Put the number 5. There's a reason for it. Put the number 5 in the chat if you can hear me good. And that will let me know I can begin the blitz. A blitz is about a 30-minute session that there's no joke. Brother Daniel Bacote coming in hot. Appreciate that super. We love all the people that support our YouTube channel. We're approaching 250,000 subscribers. Where are we at right now? All right, I got some 5s in the chat. That means y'all can hear me good. I got some 5s in the chat. Light them 5s up in the chat. What we setting at right now? And this is an us thing. This ain't just a PTT thing. You know, this is us. We've been building this together. So everybody that comes in as part of the family, every single one of you count. Every single one of you matter. We are concerned about your well-being. And as such, we will teach you, we will coach you, we will train you, we will encourage you to be strong. Shout out to my dad. My dad's in the building. Good to see you here again, Pops. Hey, can y'all believe we're at 247,924 subscribers as of right now? That means by the time we wake up tomorrow here on the western side of the world, we will be over 248,000. That probably means, hey, we've had 31,124 new subscribers in the last 28 days. That's over 1,000 per day, fam. That's over 1,000 subscribers a day. Why? Because we are loving each other the way YAHUAH told us. I'm telling y'all, we gotta double down on this. Shout out to my brother Plenty. Hey, Daddy, Plenty's in Kentucky. He's in Steele, Kentucky. Y'all should hook up sometime. My dad, he's senior, I'm junior. Plenty and Monica, they're in Steele, Kentucky, Dad. Make sure you hook up with them. Shout out to him for that super. Shout out to Travis for the super. Robert Stevens with the super. I'm just loving all of y'all supporting the channel, being members of the channel. It's just great support, man. You know, like we see the results. Everybody that's getting in on this, you're watching something special happen. And all you got to do is scrub your soul. See, when you come to promote the truth, I'm the one up here that's the talking piece because I learned how to talk. YAHUAH trained me through life how to be able to talk. But there's other people in here that are part of the team. They're off the hook. They just don't, that's not their desire. It wasn't like really my desire until I got like kind of pushed into it. And then I felt like YAHUAH was grooming me to do it because I was an ex-professional athlete, you know. I never thought I'd be doing public speaking or whatever. Now I went and spoke on massive stages, big events over 20-some countries around the world, done business in 90 countries, learned international distribution, country boy from Kentucky, grew up on a hog farm. We didn't know no better till I learned better. Me come from that, I'm telling you, it's like a Dewey story where YAHUAH looks at all the most likely, and he reaches over everybody, go, I'm going to get the least likely. Shout out to my sis, Horatia, in the building with that super. So, we're going to get into it because this is powerful. This is the last translation I did, and my review team don't even have this. So, y'all can't follow along with this one tonight, the review team. I'll be seeing them in there sometimes. This is 41. I just sent them 36 through 40. Chapters 36 through 40 of Isaiah, Yishaiyahu. So the review team just got that. I've been working on it all day. Man, I got up at 6:28 8 this morning, something like that. It's on. Kimberly, instead of, you said, I didn't get my Truth Scriptures I ordered in September. Just send an email to info@promotethetruth.com. Very simple. We say it all the time. If there's something that you missing or whatever, just send an email to info@promotethetruth.com. We have a staff of the most caring, loving, generous, compassionate, and passionate people in the world. Whatever ain't right, they're going to get it right. There'll be some stuff that kind of slip here and there through the cracks. We'll just go fill up the cracks, and then they'll make it right. So I want to make sure that whoever said that, you send an email to info@promotethetruth.com and just put your order number in there, and they'll do something extra special for you. Guarantee it. All right? That's it. Sister Michaela will tell you. Hey, and by the way, housekeeping before I go in. If y'all send an email to the Promote the Truth staff and you don't say your name, they take that as you are dishonorable. Because you are. Because you won't do that to nobody else in the world. It doesn't, you understand what mail is? So email. When you mail somebody something, imagine mailing somebody a letter and you don't state where it came from. You don't put the address from you. You don't sign it. You just send somebody something. So when you send an email, you are sending mail. Identify yourself. Do not depend on the subject line or whatever it's because so many people use different people's emails and different names. We don't even look at that. I tell my team, never look at the from name, ever. Go look at who sent it. That's how you do it. Now, I got the housekeeping done. This is hot, y'all. It's a blitz. We're going to blitz hardcore for about 20 minutes. Put your seatbelt on. Give me a little drink for this one. Brother Aluah in the building. Sister Shirley's up in here. Here we go. Yishaiyahu 41. This is the last thing that's been translated. And I think it's the first time I've just translated something, the last thing maybe, and then I came in here and did it. So I just translated it, and I'm now coming in here, and again, it ain't been reviewed, so this is fresh, hardcore YAHUAH Ruah. All right? And it'll get tightened up with any corrections with punctuation and stuff with the team. Aluah says, be silent before me, all you coastlands. So he's talking to like a lot of the island people. Like right away. He's talking to like a lot of the island people like right away. Let the nations renew their strength. Let them come forward and speak. So first he talks to the people. It must have been people being buck wild. It must have been because of people being buck wild on the islands that he said, hey, all of you on the islands, y'all be quiet. Then he says, let all the nations renew their strength. Let them come forward and speak. Let us meet together for judgment. So YAHUAH says, hey, everybody else, y'all come in here. Let's judge who you are, what you're doing, how you're doing it. Now imagine if YAHUAH put that on you right now. If he said, hey, Emily, Estelle, Daniel, Katie, y'all come in here. I want to judge you right now, where you're at in your walk right now with me. See, everybody should take that as a call because that day, someday is coming and you don't know when. And I'm going to prove it in this scripture talk. No, this ain't scripture talk. I'm going to prove it in this blitz. Who appointed the ruler in the east and caused him to be righteous in his service? See, YAHUAH said, I appointed a righteous one in the east. And it's unique because right here, YAHUAH doesn't say who it is he appointed. But he does say that whoever it was that he appointed in the east, it was righteous. But he asked, who was it that appointed him? He gives him power over the nations and defeats kings. So Yahuwah said, who was it that appointed this person that does righteousness, is coming from the east, and whoever appointed him gave him power over all the nations? Who's the only one that can do that? Drop his name in the chat. Who's the only one that can give power over all the nations and allow you to defeat all the kings? That means all the kingdoms, all the countries. He turns them to dust with his sword. And when he uses his bow, they are blown away like dust. He pursues his enemies. And he is never hurt. He goes places where he has never been before. So he says, this person I appointed can't touch this. Y'all pick it up? Yahuwah says, when I appoint somebody, you can't touch him. That's why I told you, you can't touch me without Yahuwah's permission. If you want to see if I'm appointed by Yahuwah, try to touch me without his permission. Try to hurt me without his permission. Watch what he does to you. I don't see some crazy stuff. I've seen Yahuwah kill people. I've seen him drop them. Meaning, those people were going about their regular life, and all of a sudden, early in their life, they drop dead. I don't know why. All right, hold on. Who caused this to happen? Who controls the generations from the beginning? Woo! Somebody, whoever this who is talking strong stuff. Would y'all agree? Whoever this who is. Man, we might have to put who in the chat, because that's going to be a big one. Y'all might have to put the word who in question mark in the chat, because it's going to hit you all up in the grill. Who controls the generations from the beginning? Guess what he says next? He been saying, who did this? Who put him in place? Who allows them to do this? Who allows them to trample over kings? Who allows them to rule? Who? And then all of a sudden, Yishaiyahu 41, verse 4, he says, I, YAHUAH, am he. Ooh-wee. All of a sudden, Yahuwah is asking a rhetorical question, and then he says, I, Yahuwah, am he. And then he says something that's off the hook. Hey, anybody that's got the Truth Scriptures, the Abariy if you got a hardcover, that means you got in on the campaign in the beginning, like you can do at tsinfo.org for the Tanak. Get your hardcover. Who? You remember in Hazum what I'm about to say. Guess what Yahuwah says? He says, who caused this to happen? Who controls the generations from the beginning? I, Yahuwah, am he. Hold on. Where does that come from? YAHUAH chapter 8. You remember when Yahushua was walking on the earth? He says, I am he. Hold on. How can Yahushua say, I am he, and then Yahuwah say, I am he? Who is Yahushua then? How many I am he's can there be? That's the question. How many I am he's can there be? I am he. He is singular. That's the big part. He didn't say I am they. I am them. No. All of y'all haters of Yahuwah being one, you got dealt another blow right here, right now. He says, I, Yahuwah, am he. Now, this is how crucial this is. This takes YAHUAH in chapter 8. I'm going to do a training just on this. Brother Bill, send me a message. I got to do it within 1 week, Brother Bill. Overseer Bill, send me a message. I got to do a training on YAHUAH 8, and I got to attach it because it's coded to Yishaiyahu chapter 41. You got to make sure you make the note. YAHUAH 8 and 41. Because YAHUAH himself describes who the he is. And man, y'all haters, this gonna blow you out of the water. Because you don't love the Tanakh. You don't love learning who YAHUAH really is. He says, I am he. I, YAHUAH, am he. And then guess what he says? Now he breaks down Hazum, chapter 1, Revelation 1. He says, I am the first and the last. All y'all haters of YAHUAH, the Mashiyha, you done got blown out the water. All the way from Yishaiyahu chapter 41 has done buckled you to your knees. You can't do nothing with this. You can only bow down to YAHUAH because hey daddy, my dad on earth, YAHUAH has proven himself through the scriptures to be true. It ain't no guessing. Brenda, my brother Isaac, ain't no guessing in this. YAHUAH says, I am he, I, YAHUAH, am he, and then he goes ahead and knocks down 2 for 1. Sister Mo, he went and handled who Yahushua really is, and he went and handled who is the Aleph and the Tau. He already done busted everybody in the head. He said, who did all these things? I, YAHUAH, am he. I am the first and the last. The Aleph and the Tau. Sister Queen, what we going to do with this, Sister Amber? The coastlands see and fear. Hey, one of the greatest scripture verses in all the scriptures, it's going to go down in history, is Yishaiyahu, Isaiah 41, verse 4. Write it down, put big old asterisks by it. And y'all can go tear people up with that. All the haters that YAHUAH is the only Mashiyha, they done. Hey, they have to bow down and say Yahushua is YAHUAH with Yishaiyahu 41:4. It's over. Game. Hey, the lights are out. What my daddy said, the fat lady singing, and she done exited the stage. The coastlands see and fear. The ends of the earth tremble. They draw near and arrive. And guess what happens? When YAHUAH shakes it up, he says that, man, all the different nations are going to be trembling and shaking and getting all stirred up. And then what's going to happen? They're going to draw near and arrive. And when they come up to him, here's what he said they're going to do. Each one helps their neighbor. Each one says to each other, be strong and have courage. Come on, you can do it. Come on, be strong. The carpenter encourages the metal worker. Hey, the one using the hammer encourages the one that's striking the metal tool, whether that be a piece of steel or nail. Come on, we can do this. He said, oh, everybody coming together, they're working together. And then they say, exclamation point, it's good. It is good. Boy, they get fired up. They say it's good. And guess what they do? They got scared. They got drawn together. They came in, right? They got pulled in, and everybody was like, whoa, we got to pay attention. And they all working together, and they helping each other. And then guess what happens? This is going to shock y'all. That's why you need the Truth Scriptures. Then they're going to say it's good. And they're going to then secure the idol with nails so it won't fall over. Boy, y'all got blown out the way. Woo, and I was translating that today. We within 2 hours of this translation. We within 2 hours of this translation. Then you sitting there thinking, man, everybody get it. They coming together. Guess what they pulled together for? You remember when Mashiyha went up on the mount? And they didn't, where was he at? When's he coming back? And they got scared. Soon they got a little scared. What they do? Boy, they had to make an idol. They was encouraging and working together. They was diligent and high-fiving. And they made an idol. Let's make sure to make that idol so strong it don't fall over. That's what the nations are going to do. When YAHUAH shakes this thing up, when YAHUAH begins to shake the earth, you're going to see some mighty signs and wonders over the next few years. Maybe sooner. You're going to see some mighty things. And you're going to see people, they going to run to these churches, what they do on 9/11. What happened on 9/11, 2001? Man, them churches was packed for weeks. Them churches were packed. What is a church? It's an idol. People was holding and hugging. We got to pull together. Hey, sports stadiums were packed out. They was packed out. People was hating on George Bush because the election was all twisted up like normally happens. And all of a sudden, he goes out to the Yankees game and throws out, and everybody pulls together. And what do? They run right in them churches. They go right in them idols. That's what most people going to do. Verse 8, however, you, Yishaiyahu. Now I stand up in here. Where y'all going to stand? However, you, Yishaiyahu. Soon as YAHUAH says, however, you, Yishaiyahu, I say, yes, sir. Yeah, you talking to me. Yishaiyahu, I'm part of you. You are my servants. Guess what he said, Brother Daniel? Overseer Daniel. Guess what he says, Brother Larry's? Overseer Larry's. Come on. Guess what he says to our guardian keepers? He says, you, Yishaiyahu, are my servants, descendants of Yaakov. He says, the real ones I'm looking for out of Yishaiyahu are the descendants of Yaakov, whom I have chosen, the seed of Abraham, my friend. What you going to do with that? You are who I have brought to me from the ends of the earth. Tell me YAHUAH ain't prophesying right now. Tell me YAHUAH ain't prophesying. Tell me this ain't us right now. Talking then, but happening right now. You are the ones, hey, I have brought to me from the ends of the earth, and I called you from the farthest corners. And I said to you, you are my servants. I have chosen you and not rejected you. Man, y'all better understand. I'm all up in that vow of Yaakov because I caught it. You might not have caught it. I caught it. He said, however, you, Yishaiyahu, my servants. And then he said, descendants of Yaakov. Why didn't he just leave it at Yishaiyahu? He put that vow in there. He didn't have to do it. Because Yaakov was before Yishaiyahu, but Yaakov is who made the vow. So he ain't ever letting it go. For some reason, YAHUAH is not letting that go. I don't know why. But he ain't letting it go. Woo! Woo! Verse 10, do not be afraid, because I am with you. Do not be confused, because I am your Aluah. This is, Tay. This is who, I'm all up in this. Brother Daniel done gifted 20 memberships on this. You understand? I'm in this. I'm rocking with YAHUAH right here. What you doing? He said, do not be afraid. Yes, sir, because I am with you. Do not be confused, because I am your Aluah. I will strengthen you. Yes. Yes. I shall surely help you. Y'all understand what's going on here? YAHUAH said, I'm going to strengthen you and I shall surely help you. Yes. Y'all don't understand it. He said it back to back yeses. It's like him saying, I. He came back and said, yes, yes. Yes, I shall surely help you. Yes, I shall surely uphold you with the power. Y'all ready for this? Man, those of us that's been in here rocking for the past year, we're going to run out here. Sister Renee, Sister Liz, Brother Joe, we're going to run out of here. How can we stay in here when we hear this next? He literally said, yes, I shall uphold you. Let me back it up, because we got to run out of here. I'm going to leave. I probably won't come back for about, y'all don't be, I'm about to get myself together. It's going to take me at least a minute to 2 minutes. Y'all just stay here. Because when I read this verse, I'm going to run out here for a little bit. I'm telling you right now, I ain't never did this. But I knew when I translated this verse, I said, it's going to be impossible for me to sit there. There's no way I'm going to be able to sit there. Because YAHUAH is busting prophecy. He's busting. He's showing us what the Brit Hadash is really about. In this one little powerhouse chapter. Here, watch Melanie, Elmer, Larry. Hey, Overseer Larry, what we going to do? Watch. You ready? Do not be afraid, because I am with you. Do not be confused, because I am your Aluah. Hey, I tell you, when I run out, I'll put some music on. Hold on. I got to get the music ready. Because I already know I'm run out. I know what's about to be said. You don't. Yeah, I know what I'm going to play. Hey. Woo! Man, this can't be no blitz. This ain't no blitz. I'm switching it. This going to a scripture talk. It's too deep. Because if I cut this off, I would have to cut it off right now. Y'all want me to cut it off? I can cut this off right now, and we can do part 5. Woo! This is hot. This one chapter is blowing up all kind of stuff. As soon as I get through with this verse, I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna put some music on. I'll be back. Do not be afraid. This is YAHUAH talking to the descendants of Yaakov. Do not be afraid, because I am with you. Do not be confused, because I am your Aluah. I will strengthen you. Yes. I surely will help you. Yes. I shall uphold you with the power of my capital, right hand of righteousness. YAHUAH Mashiyha. There he is right there. Right hand of YAHUAH. Did y'all hear that? That's YAHUAH Mashiyha. He said it right there. I'm going to...
You made a promise to free us from this world of pain, and forever I will be indebted to you. You made a promise to like the one you met so long ago. He never wavered. Is it true? True. You made a promise to make Abariy a father throughout all the land. You kept it. You kept it. And through all of his circumstances, you guide him with your loving hands. You kept it. You kept it. This unbroken covenant through generations it stands. This unbroken covenant, guide us with your gentle hands. You save me from myself again today. Yahuwah, so much favor, so much favor, so much favor. Thankful for your love, you. So much favor, so much favor, so much favor. With the gift of your dear son. So much favor, so much favor, so much favor. Your son. This unbroken covenant through generations it stands. This unbroken covenant. You heard me out, you guide us with gentle hands. There's so much favor, so much favor, so much favor. Covenant through generations, so much favor, so much favor. Stands. There's so much favor, so much favor, so much favor. Covenant. There's so much favor, so much favor, so much favor. Covenant. There's so much favor, so much favor, so much favor. Covenant. There's so much favor, so much favor, so much favor. Covenant. Guide me with your loving hands. Yahuwah, you heard me out, your word still stands.
And y'all tell me I had to get up, walk out. Ain't no way in the world I'm gonna be able to sit here right there. After that, there's no way in the world I'm gonna be able to stand. I can't sit down here with that. I'm sitting here translating the day, and Yahuwah, he takes the words, he says all scripture is Aluah breathed, and he breathes on it today for us. This is breath of Yahuwah for y'all. For me. For us, this is the breath. This brings us into full understanding. This is why Shaul told Timothy, all scriptures Aluah breathed. It's useful for teaching, correction, instruction. He said, you ain't going to be able to get it all right unless you study all the scriptures. That's the Tanakh. The Abariy Hadash is the complement to the Tanakh. The scriptures are the Tanakh. What gets grafted in is the Abariy Hadash. So the scriptures are the Tanakh, the Old Testament. And the Abariy Hadash gets grafted in to the Tanakh. This is very clear to see. Because Yahuwah's talking about the beginning and the end, then we see it over here. They wouldn't know to say it over there if it wasn't over here. What y'all gonna do with this? Huh? Tell me what y'all gonna do with it. When Yahuwah says, do not be afraid, because I am with you. This is verse 10 of Yishaiyahu. Isaiah 41:10. Do not be afraid, because I am with you. Do not be confused, because I am your Aluah. I will strengthen you. Yes, I surely will help you. Yes, I shall uphold you with the power of my right hand, of my righteousness. And Yahuwah Mashiyha sits as the right hand of Yahuwah. So all the way back in the Tanakh, Yahuwah Mashiyha existed. And the same exact being that's the power of the right hand of Yahuwah is the one that came to earth, who is Yahuwah himself, because your hand, your arm is still part of you. It's you. All who rage against you shall be shamed and embarrassed. Those who come up against you will become nothing. They shall perish. You shall look for your enemies, but you shall not find them. Those who fight you shall be of no value and will die. That's my faith. Y'all think whatever y'all want to think. There's chapstick on this, man. I'm so fired up on this. I've been translating since 6:30 this morning. Y'all see my energy? That's Yahuwah. Yahuwah is in me, got me all in this. Yahuwah said to me, and saying to you today as I'm translating, those who fight against you, I take that personal. I take this personal. If you fight against me, you're going to end up being of no value and die. Watch what he does now. Yahuwah is off the hook. He says, I, Yahuwah, your Aluah, will hold your right hand. Now, ain't that a trip? He says, by his right hand, he gonna uphold us. Yahuwah himself says, by his right hand, capital R, capital H, because his right hand is him. That's the exact power that delivered them out of Egypt. That's the exact power that split the sea in half. It's all, every time you see right hand, that's all the power of Yahuwah. He always designates his right hand as his full power. And then Yahuwah comes and says, in verse 13 of Isaiah, Yishaiyahu 41:13, I, Yahuwah, your Aluah, will uphold your right hand. And what does that mean? He says, I'm going to uphold you with my right hand, and I'm going to do it to uphold your right hand. What does that mean? That means all his power is in his right hand, and now he going to make us powerful with him. He going to make us strong with him. That's what he going to do. So when he told me he going to uphold my right hand, he's telling me, I'm going to make you strong like I'm strong. You're going to do the things I've done. Matter of fact, on the earth, you're going to do greater things on the earth than I've done. Come on, get me strong with my right hand. Nobody teaching y'all this truth. You can't get this truth in the false scriptures. You got to go get the truth scriptures. That's why every one of y'all need to stop Paul. This mess is so hot. You got to say, Yahuwah, I'm with what we're doing here. You see that? You see down here? You see that? tsinfo.org? We push it. I don't know what you're doing when you wake up in the morning. Soon as you get up, I wake up, I smile and take a pee. I'm smiling though. I can't take a pee without smiling. I'm just telling you raw. Because that's going to set my day. And then I got to get in, I got to get me a quick workout in. Make sure that I'm taking care of me so I can take care of Yahuwah. And then it's on. I'm going until I can't go no more, till I drop that day doing kingdom business. Right now. Like I'm in a season. Y'all the one carving this out. tsinfo.org. Y'all the one that's supporting, allowing me and the team to do what we're doing at this pace. This is we're dictating on y'all. You don't support and watch. You'll see how everything slow down. Every now and then, because I'm gonna do this no matter what. I got at least 2 hours I'm gonna do no matter what. That's the minimum, because I did that before y'all got here. Before anybody supported. My daddy can prove that, because we wouldn't even go fishing before I did my 2 hours of translation. So I'm gonna do a minimum of that every day, no matter what. But man, if we can take all the wheels off, we can go hit it. I can get up into the 12 hour range a day. That changes everything. But Yahuwah said in verse 13, I, Yahuwah, your Aluah, will uphold your right hand. Saying, he says, this is something I uphold you. When I go to grab your right hand, Yahuwah says, I'm going to say to you, do not be afraid. I will help you. Y'all know how many people on here spend time being afraid? Guess how many people on here got some kind of fear, some kind of worry, some kind of concern, some kind of frustration every day or sometime throughout the week? It's wasted energy, because Yahuwah says if you are a descendant of Yaakov, and you can't be a descendant of Yaakov, because I'm telling you, Yahuwah sorts them descendants. Y'all know that? Yahuwah sorts the descendants of Yaakov. Those are the ones he's picking. The one, and he goes, oh, you of that lineage, and it's a high probability. Crazy high probability that if you're here right now, you are more than likely, almost guaranteed, you are from the 12 tribes of Yisrael, son named Israel, before Yaakov, Jacob. It's a high probability. You'll see it shift out a little bit more in about 8 to 12 months. But right now, I'm believing that everybody that's hearing this now are being drawn because they're from their actual blood lineage of Yaakov, Jacob, who became Yisrael. And then Yahuwah sorts them by who does the vow. That is what I'm concluding. I don't know any other way to put it. The only other way I know, I don't know, there ain't no other way to put it other than once you come down and you get to go, okay, I'm drawn to Yahuwah, now you do the vow with him. Because he keeps bringing it up. He don't just keep it at Yisrael. Because he changed his name to Yisrael. But he keeps bringing it back up, Yaakov. It don't make any sense other than it's that. What y'all think? He said, do not be afraid. Hey, Larry. My dad even told you, he said, look, the fact he always puts Yahuwah business first. Now watch this. I'm trying to figure out what all y'all gonna think. Shannon, I want to know what Shannon gonna think when I say this. Watch this. In verse 13, he says, I, Yahuwah your Aluah, will hold your right hand, saying, do not be afraid. I will help you. Verse 14, he says, do not be afraid, you descendants of Yaakov. What's he say that again for? Isn't it kind of like over the top? He comes back in verse 14 and says, do not be afraid. He just told us don't be afraid. But then he comes back and says it again. And then he tells specifically who is not to be afraid. First, he says, you descendants of Yaakov. And then he says something unique. He goes, who are as weak as a worm. I thought that was unique. YAHUAH said that the descendants of Yaakov at that time, if you ever been fishing, you know how fickle a worm is. You can just pull it apart like that. He said that at that time, the descendants of Yaakov were as weak as a worm. But he said those people, that's why some of y'all are like, you just now figuring this out, and you've been through hell and high water, and you've been trodden down and pushed down together. Hey, it's okay. Guess what YAHUAH was saying to you? Even though you've been as weak as a worm, if you one of them ones, the real ones, if you one of them real ones, do not be afraid. Then he says, watch, he defines it then. He goes, do not be afraid, you descendants of Yaakov, who are as weak as a worm. He says, the people of Yisrael. So now he defines his real people of Yisrael with the descendants of Yaakov. You can't play with this. This is what's tripping me out in translation. And that one verse took me about 13 to 15 minutes to translate. That's a long time in one verse. When you really understand Hebrew the way I do, that's a long time for one verse. But I'm like, what is YAHUAH talking about? Worm. The word worm is in there. Brother Daniel Bakote in the building. He said 144 showing up for this one. That's about what we got on here too, 140 something. And then I went and got down in that word, and that means you're very weak. You're very feeble at this point. You're very fragile at that point. And I'm like, I got it. So you have to translate it. Almost every translation leaves it worm of Yaakov. They don't go and dig on that thing. That's why tsinfo.org is critical. Because when we see a word that's suspect, we go crazy. We dig that word. We peel that word every angle to get the fullness. We don't want no doubt, because I can't call you a worm. Because you can take the worm. Because a few chapters back, he's saying, hey, the king going to be covered with worms. Brother Joe, Sister Anna in the building with them supers. Shout out. You know what I'm saying? Like, you can be like, worm? You got to figure out what does he mean in that translation with worm right there. It means that as though, if even though you are as weak as a worm. Now, watch me put it all together. Here we come. Put it all together. This change, by the way, this went from a blitz to a scripture talk. That means a scripture talk is digging deep. Y'all can tell me cut it at any moment. I'll cut it. If I get 10 of y'all say, all right, stop. That's enough for today, I'll stop. I'm going to watch the chat. So if y'all want me to stop, tell 10 of y'all, stop. Y'all put it in the chat. We good for today. We'll cut it off. I ain't playing. I, YAHUAH, your Aluah, will hold your right hand. Verse 13. Saying, do not be afraid. I will help you. Then he comes right back and he says, do not be afraid, you descendants of Yaakov. So now he's telling who he's going to help. Who are as weak as a worm, the people of Yisrael, who are very few. I will help you, says YAHUAH, your Mashiyha. is the set apart one of Yisrael. Ain't no way we gonna get out of this. How, hey, all of y'all, Brandon, Monica, Emily, Patrice, how can we get out of 41? Everything we've been learning for the past year, all the core stuff is loaded in Yishaiyahu 41. Y'all see why I had to stop and do this? I didn't plan on doing this because I just did. Hey, y'all don't never see me do a big old training like we did today. We were on for a couple hours and now I'm right back. You want to know why? Shout out to Sister Queen. You want to know why? Because I translated this and I'm like, a gang of keys are in this thing. Liz, do y'all see it? Or y'all, I want to make sure y'all with me on this. Because I got a few more deep things to get into. But I just want to know, Sister Rush is up in here with the unbroken cut. See, that's why I had to play that song. That song was loaded, and I didn't even know it was loaded. Because this is a covenant. Yahuwah is doing this because of the vow, the covenant with Yaakov. That's the only reason he's doing it. And Yaakov only did it because his granddaddy, Abraham. Because Yahuwah mentioned him. Abraham is my friend. But Yahuwah don't let up on Yaakov, though. He went crazy on Yaakov. All right. Verse 14, 41, Isaiah. Do not be afraid, you descendants of Yaakov, who are as weak as a worm, the people of Israel, who are very few. He said the descendants of Yaakov are the people of Israel. So Yahuwah in this one verse says, whenever you hear me say Yisrael, that could be several different people who say that they're Yahudim but are not. I want to know who are the descendants of Yaakov. Now, when you go look at that vow, Yaakov says, if you will give me food and you will make sure I got clothes, but then he says something critical, and only you will be my Aluah. He says, I don't want to gain, test nothing. I don't want to go out here and scrape nothing. I don't want to be around nothing that deals with idolatry. I only want you to be my Aluah. Then I will give you 10% of everything I get. Isn't that amazing? So Yahuwah says he defines who he's looking for in Yisrael. Do not be afraid, you descendants of Yaakov, who are as weak as a worm, the people of Yisrael, who are very few. I will help you, says Yahuwah. Yahuwah is the one that says, I will help you. How much can we depend on that? Now, Kadeem, Sister Eileen, Brother Daniel going nuts tonight. Brother Daniel feeling it. Brother Daniel, Overseer Daniel, listen to me. Listen to me. I'm going to say the last part of Isaiah 41. That's Yishaiyahu, chapter 41, verse 14. I'm going to read y'all the last part. And y'all tell me what y'all think. After he says, I will help you. Read the whole verse again, and I promise y'all won't stop. I'm going to go and I'm going to say last part. Ready? Do not be afraid, you descendants of Yaakov, who are as weak as a worm, the people of Israel, who are very few. I will help you, says Yahuwah. Last part. Your Mashiyha is the set apart one of Israel. Sister Monica in the building. Y'all believe that? Yahuwah says, your Mashiyha. That means the Savior. He's your Savior. The Savior is the set apart one of Yeshua. Yahuwah said he's the Mashiyha. Y'all missed that? Or y'all get that? Put it in the chat. Say, I get it or I missed it. Put it in the chat. Put it in the chat. Say, I get it or say, I missed it. Yahuwah just said, your Mashiyha is the set apart one of Yeshua. And he already told us who he's looking for in Yeshua, which are the descendants of Yaakov. But he said the Mashiyha is Yahuwah. Look how much this whole chapter's loaded with revelations. Come on. Look like y'all got it. Come on, Bernice. I see you. Man, we done blew it up. If you watching the replay, y'all would be tripped out. The I get it's are crazy. The I get it's are crazy. Woo! I don't know what y'all gonna do with this. I don't know what y'all gonna do with this. You've been studying and 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 studying. It's on. Verse 15. See, I am making you into a new sharp threshing tool with double edges. See? Hey! I'm telling you, I understand you've been beat down. You've had a tough time. But rather than focus on that, focus on you still going. And focus on you got to this part where Yahuwah is making a covenant with you. If I wouldn't do it, if you're not going to get into the vow of Yaakov, I would not do this. I wouldn't be like hardcore 144 with Yahuwah. I sit on the Outer Banks. I would just ease my way into the kingdom. I wouldn't go into the lake of fire. But I would just do the least part of the kingdom. I would do the least stuff. Some of y'all going to just slide in there and you're going to be down at the least. That's all right. You in there. And maybe Yahuwah will take it out of you to where you don't have a I wish. But I think he's going to put an I wish in there. You just ain't going to be jealous. Because I believe you're going to be sitting there going, man, I wish I would went ahead and built up some more of these crowns. Even though you weak, shout out to Brother Marvin. Yahuwah says, I'm going to take all these weak people, but they got the vow. They got my name. They ain't leaving me. They into me. They've held on. Now I'm going to make you a new sharp threshing tool with double edges. Guess what your double edge right now is? Bam! Truth Scriptures. Bam! Truth Scriptures. Bam! Your double edge is the Truth Scriptures. Because everybody else gonna put it, they gonna quote scriptures to you. And the Truth Scriptures peels everybody down. They're right, Sister Emily in the building. It lays everybody naked. What are they gonna do with this? They gonna say this is a lie. They want to come up and step up and they want to challenge the Hebrew version of the real scriptures. They're not gonna want to mess with this. Where y'all at? Put some money up. This thing says Yahuwah is going to turn all these weak ones that held on to him, didn't give up, into a sharp threshing tool with double edges. He says, you shall crush mountains and grind them down and make hills turn into chaff. You know, chaffetz, you see them little things floating around in the fireplace. When you do a fire, them little flakes, you shall throw them into the air, and the wind shall carry them away. The whirlwind shall scatter them. Then you shall rejoice in Yahuwah, and you shall esteem. You know what that means right there? You know what that means right there? This hit me. I almost broke down in complete tears today. Shout out to my brother Larry Moment. Brother Larry, overseer. I almost broke down. I almost called the overseer call today. I'm getting ready to have one of them real soon. I almost did because when I figured out the esteem in this context right here, it tore me up. It tore me up. Y'all gotta understand. If you gotta really know the scriptures here, he says, when Yahuwah does these things for you, you understand he fully protected you. He's guarded you against the enemies, and then he made you a sharp tool to where you became powerful. And when he says you crush mountains, that means if you say you don't like something, somebody in trouble. Because you ain't gonna say that in a bad manner. You're not gonna say that in a hateful manner. You're gonna say that in a righteous. What's right is right. You're gonna call foul foul. And if you say it's foul, somebody might stop breathing. Now, everybody listen to me. What esteemed in how he pressed it, and when you go peel each side of this word together, what it means, and see what this does to y'all. You ready? The whirlwind shall scatter them. Then you shall rejoice in Yahuwah, and you shall esteem the set apart one of Yisrael. Esteem has different levels. Esteem can be exalted, it's highly favored. But in that context, Yahuwah is saying, then you shall be proud of me, Yahuwah. Yahuwah wants us to be proud of him. That's why I was almost breaking down. I'm tore up right now. Yahuwah is literally saying, I want to do all this for you so that you will be proud of me. There's not many times that Yahuwah says he wants us to be proud of him. This is a time that Yahuwah is saying, I'd like for you to be proud of me. What about that part? How many of you have ever looked at you got so much on you and you want Yahuwah to, but you never think that Yahuwah has feelings. Yahuwah has feelings. He just extremely over the top strong. And he ain't gonna change his righteousness. He's not gonna change it. And he's not gonna stop. And he won't break down and quit because you don't love him. But he in that context of Yishaiyahu, Isaiah 41:16, I promise you, that esteem right there means that Yahuwah would like us to be proud of him. So my question is, are you proud of Yahuwah? Because I'm proud of Yahuwah. Are you proud of him? That's why I almost had to call the call today. Because to say to Yahuwah, I'm proud of you. That's another level, y'all. And that might be the biggest level we can deal with. To get to the point where we're proud of Yahuwah like that. that struck me. That's why these lives being this fresh are so important, because I'm going to see stuff. Like, I could have let that lay. I knew that's coming up. I knew from the beginning when I'm doing this. I don't know what made me think to do this as a blitz in the first place. There's no way there's no way this chapter can be a blitz. That was just wishful thinking. Like, what if we just got up at least once a day and say, Yahuwah, I'm proud of everything you've done. To do what you've done, to create what you've created, and to put up what you put up with, you over the top, including putting up with me. That's a whole new level. Who's ever taught you to be proud of Yahuwah? Have you ever been taught? I don't know. I just taught you today. I just taught all of us, including me. We should be proud of Yahuwah. That's how powerful the Truth Scriptures are. That's why tsinfo.org is so amazing to me. And my wife's the one thought of doing the campaign. Y'all wouldn't even be up here talking. Y'all would not be experiencing this, in my opinion. Ain't no way in the world I can see it. I'm going through every scenario. There's no way you would be experiencing what we're experiencing now without my wife saying, you got to go live on YouTube. We got to put a campaign together, allow people to be a part of it. Because I kept saying, no. For years, I wanted nobody to contribute. I wanted nobody to be a part of it. That's why everybody come at me and say, it's about the money. I'm going to tell y'all, kiss my you know what. Because I ain't even looked for you. Where was you at in 2007 to 2020? You ain't nowhere around. And instead of you being appreciative for learning who Yahuwah is, predominantly because of what we did, you want to throw that hate. So I don't even, y'all can go on over somewhere. But I'm going to be proud. Should we keep going? Because this is so deep. All right. I'm going to do my best. For you, Yahuwah. For Yahuwah. I almost cut this off right then. I'm so emotional for Yahuwah. I'm going to be like, man, we got to come back and do part. Y'all see me do it before. Well, I just can't talk no more. I'm done. I'm going to push through. I'm going to read that verse again. Now that you know that Yahuwah, he's sliding it in there. He's sliding it in nice and smooth. He ain't pounding, demanding it. He just saying, hey, after I do all this for you, you know, I got you. I'm going to hold you. Shout out to his brother Plenty. Yahuwah says, don't be afraid. I'm with you. I'm your Aluah. Can't nobody mess with me. If I got you, I got you. Man, y'all got me all tore up. Man, I'm choked up. You shall throw them in the air. Yahuwah said, I'm going to make you trample all this stuff. Throw your enemies like dust in the air. The whirlwind will scatter them. He says, now after I do all this for you, I held you. I told you don't be afraid. I turned your enemies into dust. Yahuwah says, then you shall rejoice in Yahuwah. And you shall be proud, esteemed, the set apart one of Yisrael. All right. We got through that one. Hey, y'all know that was emotional. I'm just telling you right now. Verse 17. The poor and those in need look for water, but there is none. Their tongues are dry with thirst. However, I, Yahuwah, will answer them. I, the Aluah of Yishaiyahu, will not forsake them. YAHUAH going all in right here, y'all. That's why the 144, this is how he gonna be with us. That's why you got to be tight on guarding his commandments, keeping his ways, because this is his covenant, his promises. That's why I stay right in there tight with YAHUAH. I ain't playing. YAHUAH says, if you in here with me like this, I'm not going to leave you. I shall open the rivers on the dry hills and make springs flow through the valleys. I shall change the desert into a pool of water and change the dry land into springs of water. I shall make trees grow in the desert. There shall be cedar, acacia, myrtle, olive, pine, fir, and cypress trees growing together in the desert. He's telling you no matter how dry, how bad you think your situation is, that's your desert. I'm going to put a lake in your desert. In your hardest situation, I'm going to make you flourish out of it. Just hold on to me. YAHUAH, claim me as the Mashiyha. Get my real word. Support my work that's happening at tsinfo.org. That's his work. Where would that come from? We've been going for all these years without y'all. And now we got up to 13,000 subscribers, just putting along, doing our thing. And then Lena says, hey, open up the campaign. Let them come in here. Start talking, YAHUAH. And now over 80 countries, almost 250,000 subscribers. You want to know why? It was a desert for years. And now YAHUAH said, come on. I'm going to show you a lake. I'm going to make a whole waterfall. I'm going to stream it down right in your desert. Those that see these things will understand. Now, I like that YAHUAH, how he's concluding this. He says, those that see these things, YAHUAH says, now when I do these things for you, you're going to understand. They shall think carefully about these things. They shall know that the hand of YAHUAH has done this. The set apart one of Yisrael has created it. And then YAHUAH looks over there at the knuckleheads. And he says, hey, now I done said what I got to say to my people. So you, YAHUAH says, all you haters in the building, come on, present your case. Bring your evidence and present it to me, says the king of who? YAHUAH. Brother Daniel, Brother Larry, Brother Bill. Out of everybody he says he's the king of, why right there does he go, when he's talking to the haters, he goes, hey, I'm the king of YAHUAH. Present your case. Bring forth your idols. And let your idols tell us what is going to happen. Let Jesus tell us what's going to happen. Let the church, let the pastors, let the priest, let Buddha, let Allah, let all of them tell us. You tell us what's going to happen, all you statues. Have them tell us what happened in the beginning. Let us know so we can consider these things. Then we can know what shall happen. Yes, tell us what shall happen in the future. 23. Come and tell us what is coming next. YAHUAH's talking to the idol. He talking to Jesus all up in the head. He talking to all them the crosses. He talking to them church buildings. They say, oh, that's the house of the Lord. Hey, house of the Lord. Tell us what's going to happen next. All you preachers, y'all come and tell us what's going to happen next. Then, if you do, we will believe that you are living Elohim, sign named gods. If you can really tell us, not here and there, I'm talking about everything. Can you tell me what's going to happen next? Now, the cool part about this is this. Y'all can go up and the spirit of deceitfulness, the spirit of lies, we can get Tassalan Akim, 2 Thessalonians 2:9-12 in here, and we can get Satan working his wonders. But if I walk in that building or stand outside and I go, do it in front of me, say it in front of me, go ahead and do your prophecy in front of the real ones, y'all ain't gonna do nothing. Y'all gonna be confounded. As soon as you step into that's why I'm raising y'all up the right way. Because y'all gonna learn to get around people and talk the way I'm talking. You're gonna look at people. Y'all should be with me sometime when I deal with demonic spirits and pompous, arrogant religious people. I'm just chilling. I'll say the same thing. Well, tell me this, tell me that. What Yahuwah's doing is asking them questions. Hey, when was the letter J first created? You see, you just ask simple things. Hey, if you can tell us these things consistently, then we will believe that you are a living Elohim. Yes, do something, good or bad, and make us be in awe. That's what I got to say to all y'all that love that fake religious stuff. Do something for us and make us be in awe. Because I can do something for you and make you be in awe. Do something for us and make us be like, whoa, you gotta have, whoever's your Aluah, it's gotta be the real one. Nah, you ain't gonna do it. Behold, 24, you are nothing and you cannot do anything. You and those who choose you are an abomination and should be hated. Hey, this is strong. Yahuwah ain't playing. He's saying all these idols, these churches, these crosses, all this nonsense, these fish, all this stuff, these steeples, they should be hated. These Christmas trees, these statues. Yahuwah says, he don't say the name. Y'all better pay attention. Yahuwah says, I have raised someone up from the north, and he has come. From the rising of the sun, he calls on my name. He treads over rulers like mud, like a potter trampling clay. Who told us about this before it happened? Who told us beforehand so we could say they were right? None of you told us anything. No one heard you say anything. I, the master, was the first to tell the people in Zion, look, they are here. It is happening. I brought the good news to the people of Jerusalem. When I look at the idols, there is none that can answer. None of them can give advice or answer when I ask them something. Behold, all of them are meaningless and useless. They cannot do anything. Their idols are empty and powerless. You have just heard the real Isaiah, Yishaiyahu, chapter 41, for the first time in English. the right way, the purest way that's ever happened in the history of the English language. You just heard it. How y'all feel about it? Put some fire emojis in the chat if it hit hard with you. Put some fire emojis in the chat. Because, man, this thing was strong. This is supposed to be a blitz. I got to change the title and everything. Yahuwah done put all kind of signs and clear direction in this 41st chapter of Yishaiyahu. If y'all don't understand the assignment and what to do, I'm telling you, I'm going to keep my head down and I'm just going to be knowing that Yahuwah going to bring all the right people from everywhere. And all the right people are going to come in and they're going to surround the entire process of the project and they're going to protect it. They're going to support it. They're going to be cheering it on. They ain't going to listen to no haters. Because you realize one thing about the haters? None of the haters believe that Yahuwah is the only Mashiyha. None of them. None of them completely guard the commandments. None of them keep all the festivals. None of them. Ask them. And then tell them to videotape themselves for a year. And if they say anything negative, say, videotape your life for a year and let me see how you walk. So we got it rocking. We got it on. Did y'all like this one? Because this was hot. I appreciate y'all spending this time with me. Hey, I'm going to bounce out now because, hey, I believe I did what I was called to come here and do. I brought you the real word of Yahuwah. I'm asking all of you to just stop for a second. Look at that website down in the bottom left-hand corner, tsinfo.org. The support is important. I just put highlights on it. I ain't pressing you. I'm just asking the real ones, the 144. We got bigger stuff we got to do, higher levels we got to go to. The team just whispers stuff to me, and hey, you know what? You got to let the people know, and I'm coming over and telling you to keep it in front of you because I know some people can get excited and they forget that we got to be doing Malakuta, the Yahuwah underneath. That's the kingdom of Yahuwah business. Love y'all with all I got. I'm going to catch y'all here very soon. Never know. Love y'all.